everyone. Today I'm going to show you this super cool little magic trick with felt. I call it Hearts on Fire. And as you saw in the intro, these guys will glow and you'll be able to see through them. And I tried to design them to where it looks almost like burning embers, all the different colors of fire and burning embers, and you can see through it. It's super great for Valentine's Day, especially if you're trying to give something original and not just the same old regular cutesy little heart. I did design this for one of the dragons that I made and was purchased. It was a commission, and she has me doing something fun for him that'll sit in his hands for every holiday. So he couldn't just hold any heart. He had to hold a heart on fire, of course. So it's super fast, super easy. I'm going to show you how to do it, and then you can pop a bunch of these out and get them sold for Valentine's. Here we go. So what you're going to need for this is some red hearts. They could also be clear hearts if you can't find red, and you could paint the inside with like an acrylic paint. But these are just plastic hearts, kind of like an ornament heart that opens up, and they have a string on them. These guys are about 2 inches. Let me see. They're 2.5 by 2.3 inches. So 2.5 by 2.3 inches. You could do it any size you want. It really doesn't matter. And I got these at Hobby Lobby. This is the brand Celebrate It. I think that might be a Hobby Lobby brand. So, and this has 6 in it. You're going to need some carded wool. So I have an orange, a red, a dark gray, and this color is called Thyme. And if you can see, it's so beautiful. It has blues and greens and light greens in it, which, you know, you can often see in the fire. So I really liked this color. This also was one of the original colors in the dragon that I did for its owner. So it matched perfect. These two are Maori wool I got on Amazon, and I'll put the links in my description. These two are from Serafina Fiber Art. This is her dark gray core wool, and this one is called Thyme. You're going to need a felting mat. I'm going to be primarily using a punch tool. This is a clover punch tool, and I may be also using my clover pen tool. This pen has 3 42 triangles in it, and I'll put a link in the description for both of these if you need one. I'll be using scissors today. These are my little Fiskars scissors. I can put a link for that as well. You're going to need some super glue. Now, you could use any kind of glue you want. I have just kind of experimented making my first 6 and found that the super glue works best for me. If you are more comfortable using like a hot glue, you probably could do that too. Just my experience is hot glue doesn't stick to plastic as well. I also did one with Mod Podge, and it stuck. It just took a long time to dry, and I'm really impatient. You're also going to need some kind of a light. This was a pack of 12, and these are submersible. And all you do is you turn it, and it turns on. And then turn it off. So this was easy for me because one of the challenges was making this without wires dangling everywhere. I didn't want fairy lights that I have to figure out how to get them outside the heart and then everyone would see it. I wanted something concealed inside the heart. So this is a submersible little light. It's a submersible LED. I did get these at Hobby Lobby. This is what they look like. They have a little clip on the back, but you could probably find any little tea light that you can turn on from the bottom. It does not have to be this light. It could just be a tea light on its own. Would probably be a lot cheaper than these submersible lights too, that you can just turn on and anything like that will work. Just nothing with wires that are going to hang outside of it. If that's all you have, then, you know, you can figure out a way to get it to run outside, but I think it's going to look a lot better without. So just a little submersible light. And the last thing is magnets. These are super tricky to work with, but these are really high power magnets. I will also put the link to these inside my description. And this helps to hold this together once we have everything on it. I just put one in the very bottom and it helps to hold it together. Okay. So I'm going to put those magnets together over here. You'll see them snapping to everything. It's hilarious. They're kind of hard to work with. You may need a Sharpie just to mark the magnet so that you know which side goes up when you're gluing it. And I think that's it. So the first thing that you're going to do is get your heart, and I kind of laid it down on my mat. I've done it both ways, and I've done wet felting and I've done needle felting. You can't tell the difference. So to me, this particular project isn't worth trying to do all the wet felting when the needle felting looks just as good. Like, I can't even tell which ones I wet felted and which ones I needle felted. So we'll just do needle felting here today, and you're going to lay it down. And then this is just to get our sizing. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take the red and pull just a little section of it and kind of thin it out. Normally in projects you don't want to see through your wool. In this project you do. You want that light to kind of shine through so you can see the light inside. And I'm just going to put on just enough to cover so that when I felt it and it shrinks up a little bit, I'm going to be able to go around the edge. We're going to go around the edge and then we'll trim. So this is pretty good for my red, and I know that that's a good size. So now I can remove my heart, and then I'm going to get some orange, and I'm just going to make it super thin, like almost spider webby, and just lay that and drag it out on there. Just any design that you like. It doesn't have to be just like this. You can either put it all over it or just a little bit here and there. And then you're going to get your bluish gray color. Doesn't have to be this specific one. Any teal, light blue, light green, anything like that. And I like to just run it kind of through the center of the heart. Just get like a wisp of it going there. And then I'm going to take my gray, and in the center of the heart, I want it to look like it's burning. Like, so I'm taking this as kind of like a soot or a charcoal-y effect. And I'm going to create like a little circle in the center of it. And I'm just going to kind of set it there and spread it out. I do want it a little condensed there. And then at that point, if you wanted to add anything else, any other color, anywhere, you could. Just keep in mind you want it to be a little bit thin. And I don't want, there's a little white piece of wool in there. I don't want any other colors in here. So if you have any vegetable matter or you have any whites or anything like that, go ahead and get them out. Then you're going to take your clover pen tool, just hold the mat down, and just, you don't have to go crazy on it, just gently go over it. Make sure you cover the entire surface. Just one row after another. Normally, I teach not to stab into the mat. This time, you do have to kind of stab into the mat a little. And there are just projects that you have to flatten and you have to stab into the mat. So this is one of them. But I also don't stab crazy hard. I don't need it to stick into the mat. I'm just trying to use the mat to give me a little backing and support while I stab through. So I turned it over and I'm going to do this side again. This is basically making a fabric. Now I'll just go across it the other way. Not even necessary as long as you're just covering it a few times. You don't have to crisscross or anything like that. Just whatever you feel comfortable with. I see a few little things I'm going to take out. Might be picking stuff up off the mat too. Peel that off, turn it over. We're just going to do it again. This part's kind of fallen off there, so I'm just going to go ahead and fold it. Maybe I'll fold it under. The outside is not as important as the inside, because we will be cutting these outer edges off. I picked up my magnet. These magnets are nuts, man. They stick to everything. So funny. Okay. So this is not like super hard felted. It is combined. You can see the colors from the front have come through to the back. And when you hold it up to a light, let me see if I can show you. You hold it up to a light, you can see through it. And that's what we want. We want light to be able to shine through. So that is going to be great. And I'm perfectly fine with that. That's good. You don't have to go crazy on this. It's a super simple project. So that's perfect. Now we're just going to do this one more time for the back. Okay, so now we have the front and the back. We're all done with the wool. We are going to go ahead and get one side of the heart. Doesn't matter which side. And we are going to get our super glue. And go ahead and now if you feel like you don't want this in here, you can take that out. I've done both. I've taken it out and just put it in later, and I've also done it with it in it. So Either way, I think is fine. So I like to go ahead and just put a little bit down in this center area here. And then there's a ridge on one of the sides. So if you have the side with the ridge, be real careful not to do the ridge. We don't want to glue the ridge. You're going to come right up by the ridge, and just on the very top of the heart here, you're going to just put a little line. And then I want to use on the front the one that I did the circle with. Okay. And I'm going to just lay it right up in there. Let's get that middle part felted first. Be careful your hands don't stick. And if you want to use like the end of a pen to stick it down there and pull away really quick, you can. It's just got to catch. And it's good in that little groove to get the shape of the heart. You're just going to keep pressing until it sticks. Okay, then on the bottom, you're going to go ahead and take your fingers as you're going down here, and you have this circle. You're going to take your fingers and sort of open and separate right in between that gray, that dark gray. I just want a little separation, so you can see my finger there. And I'm going to take that, and I want it to sort of be in the center. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to place that in the center, and now I can either pull to the bottom or I can pull to the sides. It looks like to keep this in the center on this one, pulling to the sides is going to make more sense for me. So I'm just going to do the sides first. And if you wanted to do the bottom first, you could. It doesn't really matter. But I'm going to pull kind of tight and hold that down over the side and just give that time to stick. Very gently rub your finger over it. A little bit came through up here, so you don't want to rub it hard enough to where it comes through. You just need that to sort of adhere. Okay, so now on the other side, I'm going to do the same thing, just kind of watching where my center is. And I'm going to go right along the edge. I'm going to go ahead and pull. And do the same thing. Now, in order to get my center piece here, have a little bit of an overlap, and that's okay, because we're going to end up trimming. So that'll just kind of come down like that. If you want, you could put, well, it's actually really stuck, so we'll just trim that little overlap off. It'll be absolutely fine. And come to the bottom. And anything that you have left there, just put a little dot on the bottom. Pull it down. And just kind of hold that in shape till it sticks. That's great. And now what we'll do is take our scissors and you're just going to kind of cut right up to the bottom. And then I like to lay my scissors on, just right on the heart, so that I know I'm cutting right up to the heart, and that will help me stay level. I'm just moving my scissors right around the heart. And I'm just going to trim right off all that extra. If you need to cut up to the top there, you can. Again, just lay your scissors. So I'm not cutting at an angle down. I'm just laying my scissors right on the heart. I'm going to pull this extra piece up here. Cut that. Okay, so now you can take a look at it, kind of see where you have excess. I have a little bit of excess here. I'm just going to put a little dot of glue right there. And then pull that tight over it. Okay, and then I'm going to trim that. It's nice to trim as you go so you know what you're working with. And then I think I'm just going to go ahead and put a little dot right here. Tiny little dot. And I'm just going to pull this like down. Now I could have cut that off too, but it's a little bit wonky right there. So I'm just going to let that stick there. Just pop it with my pen. When you do something with your pen like that, you don't want to keep it there or else your pen will stick. Let that stick and cut the excess off. And then we just have this little spot right here. Actually, just think I'm gonna, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick a little dot of glue right there, kind of on the other wool. And I'm gonna pick that up and just pull it. Hold that down with my finger. And I don't want to hold it on that edge that's going to clasp together. I'm just holding right before the edge. Okay. All right. Just trim up anything else that's loose or fuzzy. And I'm going to touch that area a little bit because I really want that one to be the one that's showing through. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Let me see how I want it to go. What's going to look best. Maybe like that, with this little opening up here. That'd be kind of cool. To make sure before you stick it that it covers the whole thing. And you're going to have enough to trim. This is going to look so pretty with the light coming through. Just be careful with your fingers. And the first one of these I did, I had wool stuck to my finger. And that was fun. Okay, so now I'll show you how I do it if you just start at the bottom. You want to pull it kind of tight. So you're just going to put a little bit there at the bottom. Pull it. Hold it over. Just barely touch it. And then just do each side. Just remember not to go over that little lip area. And I like to pull it kind of tight over. And just do the other side. Careful if it's really, really loose, like, see-through, you will get a little glue on you when you're popping it down there. Okay, so we're just going to do the same thing. Ooh, had a lot of extra on that one. The great thing is if you have a pack of 6 of these and you have extra, you can just use it on the other ones. It doesn't have to be all one solid piece, or you can take that and add to it and, you know, just keep adding to it. Just lay it down and keep felting. So there's no waste. Nobody likes wasted wool. So there's a little bit, like you can see, kind of, it still needs to come down a little here. So I'm gonna pull that back, just get some right on there. On this side, the ridge is on the inside. So we don't have so much to worry about. Just pull it over tight. You could also do a few things with this if you wanted to. I haven't tried it yet, but you probably could power wax it if you wanted to. You could probably also Mod Podge over it if you wanted to, and try some things out and just see kind of like how it looks. With, oh, that's so pretty. And each one comes out different. Like, you just have no idea what it's going to do. trim it up. Okay, now we'll test it, make sure it closes. And this is going to happen to you. You're going to get wool on your fingers. Just put them together. Make sure that they close. These in general are a little bit wonky to get together. Okay. It's so pretty. Now you can look at it and see, you know, which side do you want the light in to go through. So it's going to be kind of like that on one side and like that on one side. This one's really wide open. Let's see how it looks inside. I'm just going to turn the light on and put it in. So on this side, this is how it's going to look. And if it were on this side, this is how it would look. So I still like this hole in the front, but you can do anything you want. So I'm going to go ahead and now take the super glue, and I'm just going to put some right in the center. And then I'm going to take the back of this little flat piece, and we're just going to pop it right on there. Just hold that down till it glues, till it sticks. If you get a little tea light and it's not super heavy, these lights are heavy. If you get a light that's a tea light, you don't even have to glue it down. The reason that I'm gluing these down is because they were heavy and they're popping to the bottom and opening the heart up. Then I came up with a magnet idea. Actually, my son came up with a magnet idea. He's brilliant. And that fixed everything. Okay, so once it's glued down, you can just turn your light off. Now, whoever owns it can turn it off and turn it on. Just open it up, turn it, get the light on. Okay, so the last thing that we need to do is the magnets. This is the fun and tricky part and gives me a hard time every time, but it's worth it. So you need them to stick together. These are super strong magnets. And if you put them one way, they're going to resist each other, and you put them another way, they're going to stick. So you want to make sure that whatever way you put them in here, they're going to stick. So let me show you on one that I've done already. So you're going to go on the inside, this bottom little corner, and on the other side, on the other little corner, so that when you put them together, that magnet draws itself to each other, and then it helps to keep this closed. Because these are kind of cheap little plasticky things, so they don't, you know, they're just not the best. But that magnet just really helps. So we are going to find both of our magnets. Okay, so we know that if I put it together like this, they're sticking together right now. So I want those sides that were sticking together marked, because they're going to pull together. Watch. Because it's going to go, I'm going to mark it, and then the other side will stick down. Okay, so the parts that were sticking together, open it up, and then mark those. So they were together. I opened them up, I marked them. So now I'm gonna glue on the bottom of that. The reason I'm telling you is because it's impossible to tell what side of the magnet you have when you're starting to glue it down. So there's a ridge right here. So when I glue this magnet, I don't want to touch the ridge because the ridge has to close the little plastic heart. So I want to be on the inside of that little ridge. And if you can see that ridge right there. So I need to be past that. So I'm going to put my glue just past the ridge. And then I'm going to take this, drop it there, and kind of hold it down for a second. This is a little nail file. Grab that and hold it with that. Okay. So it's a little bit in the ridge. I'm just going to scoot it down a little bit before it completely sets. Okay. Challenge accepted. And then on this side, the ridge is on the outside, so this one's much easier. So you're going to go on the opposite side. You definitely need to make sure it's stuck before you put it together, or it's going to flip off of this side and attach to the other one. So we'll let that just dry for a second. Not a perfect design yet. If you guys come up with any other ideas or find an easier way, definitely share in the comments, please, please, please. But once it's all together, it's just so super cool. Okay, so once it's dry, then go ahead and turn your light on. And all you got to do is just press down now and turn because it's glued in. And then shut your heart. Just get it lined up. Shut it. And then you have this beautiful Hearts on Fire. Let me turn the lights out and you can see it. So that is my Hearts on Fire. And it's going to be super fabulous for you to give to somebody that your heart is on fire for Valentine's. And you can also make these all year round. And how great would it be like if you did this at Christmas time with a round ornament and, you know, put a light inside that. You could maybe even do a little felted scene on it or something like that. So I hope you have enjoyed it. Make sure that if you haven't already seen my video with my little silly frogs, go check that out. I'm going to put the link for them at the end of this video. Thank you for joining me today and have a wonderful, wonderful day.